What's going on, y'all? I'm Victor, and this is the Everyday Fat Ass. And today, I want to talk to y'all about forgiving ourselves. So, on this episode of the Everyday Fat Ass, I'm going to be talking to y'all about a couple of things y'all can do to help forgive yourself and move forward and continue on your weight loss journey so you can be fit and in shape and you can achieve the body that you really want. So, because I know I'm not the only one that struggles with forgiving himself, what are some of the things that you are not forgiving yourself for and that stop you from moving forward and really achieving the goals that you have for yourself when it comes to your fitness? So why don't you hook it up with a few comments below? I'll be getting back to each and every one of y'all, and let's talk about it. What do you struggle with? Why aren't you forgiving yourself? And what is the one thing that you refuse to forgive yourself for? Episode 3 of the Everyday Fat Ass coming to you right now. Fat for now, fit forever. So, forgiving ourselves. You might be wondering, what? Is that even a thing? And yes, it is. Actually, most psychologists believe that forgiveness or self-forgiveness is one of the hardest type of forgiveness to do, because a lot of times it might be easy to forgive someone who might have wronged you, but it is a lot harder to internalize that and forgive yourself for a blunder that you might have committed. Now, I think it's vitally important not only to forgive others, right? But again, this is not really that type of video. We're not talking about how to forgive your mom or your dad or your friend or your cousin or somebody who might have slighted you. That's not what we're talking about. Today we're talking about how to forgive ourselves for making the mistakes or maybe not keeping the promises that we made to ourselves, and understanding that just because you messed up today doesn't mean that you're gonna mess up tomorrow or you're gonna mess up next week. Now, when to forgive yourself and how can we do it? How does it work? Now, this is the way that I have personally internalized it when it comes to forgiving myself. Now, for me, because I struggled so many years with weight loss, I started to believe the narrative that I was gonna fail no matter what way I tackled it. So the moment that I would make a mistake, maybe a couple of weeks in or a month into my fitness journey, I would say, man, today I had a buffet, it's not my cheat day, so I guess tomorrow it's gonna be okay if I mess up as well. Growing up, this is something I saw all the time, right? With family and friends. I would bump into those family and friends that would say, oh, next Monday I'm gonna start. Next Monday, it's gonna be the real time for me to start. And it's like, wait a second, it's Tuesday, right? Like, it's Tuesday now. And you're saying you're gonna start next Monday? So you mean that you're gonna cheat the remainder of the week or do whatever you're gonna do the remainder of the week because you're planning to start next Monday? Like, what is the problem with starting today, right? And I think I finally tapped into why we do that. We do that because a lot of times we realize that Monday came and Monday went and we cheated on Monday. So because of that failure, we said, oh, you know what? The whole week shot. Forget it. We can no longer work out. We can no longer eat right because the week is shot. It's Monday. I messed up on Monday, which means that the rest of the week is done for, right? So we don't forgive ourselves. We say that day is going to judge the rest of our week, which can turn into the rest of the month and then can turn into a whole entire year or multiple years like it has for me, right? And the problem is this. Whenever we make a mistake and we don't acknowledge that mistake and we let that mistake cause other mistakes, we're not allowing ourselves to forgive ourselves, right? We have to understand that because we are overweight, this is not going to be something that we're going to be able to snap our fingers and transform into a superhero body, transform into our goddess body, transform into our sexy body, whatever that body may be, right? It's not a snap of a finger. It's not just like that, right? What it takes is dedication and effort, and you're gonna slip a bunch of times in that. I'm sure there's professional athletes that slip all the time, but because they have drilled themselves into being successful at the craft, they know how to pick themselves up and go get it. Now, one of the things that I suggest is whenever we make a mistake, leave that mistake in the past. Acknowledge it, say, you know what? I shouldn't have had that buffet. I shouldn't have feasted on that cake. I shouldn't have feasted on those cookies. I shouldn't have ate that entire honey bun. I shouldn't have eaten multiple Snickers, or whatever it may be, whatever your pleasurable little sin that you have, understanding that you did it, it's done, and tomorrow or later is a new day, right? It doesn't mean that you have to immediately put that on yourself and suffer the remainder of the week or the remainder of the month for it. Now, because self-forgiveness is one of the hardest things to do, we have to look at it from the outside looking in. So we have to look at ourselves with a bird's eye view and say, okay, why did I do this? Why am I committing these mistakes? Why am I failing like this? Am I failing because I'm so used to failure, so I'm guiding myself to failure? Or am I failing because I genuinely can't control myself, right? These are big distinctions that we have to take into consideration. Another big problem is maybe you don't believe you can change. Maybe you believe that you are beyond change. You believe that you are meant to be this way forever. You believe that you're meant to be a failure, or you're meant to be a fatty, or you're meant to be all these things that you're not meant to be. And so you believe that maybe we're beyond forgiving ourselves. We believe that we're not good enough to forgive ourselves. We believe that there's no point in forgiving ourselves because we know, or we believe, that tomorrow it's going to be the exact same way. So we believe we are unworthy of self-forgiveness. That's ridiculous. You have air in your lungs and your heart is beating, you are worthy of self-forgiveness. You are worthy of another chance. You are worthy of a tomorrow. You are worthy of a next week. You are worthy of a next year. As long as your heart is still beating and there is air in your lungs, you are worthy of forgiving yourself. The thing is, you have to get yourself to believe that, right? Understand that you are worthy of self-forgiveness. You are valuable. You are important. You are someone that can change, but you have to believe it. Don't think that you're not worthy of that change. Don't feel yourself lesser than anyone else. You can achieve it if you believe it, right? And you can forgive yourself if you let yourself forgive yourself. So don't think that you are beyond forgiveness, because trust me, nobody is beyond forgiveness, especially self-forgiveness. Whatever mistake you made, you can move beyond it. You can move past it, but you have to want to. You have to. So do it. Forgive yourself, believe that you deserve forgiveness, and do it. Trust me, it'll change your life. And not just your fitness life, your life. Now, a lot of you might be thinking right now that I'm pretty much giving you an out or a pass for your mess ups. And no, that's not at all what I'm doing. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean that you forgive yourself now for making that mistake and then you forget about it and tomorrow's a new day and you can make that same exact mistake again. No. That's not the idea. Forgiving yourself for that mistake is one thing, but remembering that you did that mistake and trying to curb your habit so that that same mistake isn't done tomorrow or a week later, that is part of forgiving yourself as well. So we're not giving you a free pass to go and mess around and start gaining weight and stop working out and start slacking. That's not what I'm saying. When you mess up, I'm saying forgive yourself for that mess up. That mess up now, because you've already made that mistake, it is now in the past. We're looking towards our future always, right? So there's no point in looking to the past in your old mistakes. There's no point in that. The idea is to say, I committed that mistake. I forgive myself. I'm not gonna make it again. I remember that I made the mistake, and now I'm moving forward to my new body, to my new me, right? Understanding that in this journey, especially because we're so used to doing and eating whatever we want, we are going to mess up. It's true, it's unavoidable, right? But understanding forgiveness and self-forgiveness is vital. If all we expect is failure, if we start our journey expecting failure, what will happen is failure will come and it'll consume you. I have believed something for a very long time, and this is something that I live my life off of. And even though at moments I think it's foolish, I refuse to think any other way. Whatever we call into existence will come into existence. Whatever we believe is going to happen will happen, right? Have you ever found yourself desiring something or wanting something, and then maybe a few days or a few hours or a few months later, you have that thing that you desired? And it's not necessarily something that can be bought with money, maybe a feeling, maybe some sort of reward or some sort of congratulations, some sort of accolade, maybe from others, right? And then it comes, you want it, you chase it, and you get it, right? That's how I believe that anything in life can be achieved. If we want it, if we believe it, we will achieve it, right? And I think this is a fact of life. So if we speak negative things into existence, like believing that we're gonna fail, believing that we're failures, we are gonna inevitably fail and we will be the thing that we are speaking into existence. Honestly, there's no better way for me to put it. So without us being able to forgive ourselves, we are gonna go and lead ourselves to that same exact mistake that caused us to fail. And what that'll do will continue this cycle of failure to who knows when. But the reason why I started this channel is so that failure can stop, so that we can start climbing this mountain of victory, this mountain of success, so that we can completely change our lives. And not just because I want to look good, not just because I want to be thin. That's only a part of it. Now, trust me, don't get me wrong. Of course I want to be sexy. And of course I want someone to look at me and be like, damn, you look good. You know what I'm saying? All of us want that. But the primary reason for me is longevity. I want to be around to see my grandkids one day. You know, I want to see my daughter grow up, graduate college. I want to live for a very long time. And let's be real. The more unhealthy we are, the worse we eat, the more chances we have of being ill and dying early, right? So forgiving ourselves can help prevent us from meeting an early grave. Yeah, that heavy, that drastic. It is so important for you to leave what you did in the past, forget about it, and move forward knowing that tomorrow is going to be a brand new day, a day where you're going to conquer it, a day where you're going to knock it out. Again, we're not forgetting about our past, but we're acknowledging that it happened, accepting it, and moving forward. I am Vic B, and this is the Everyday Fat Ass. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. And if you like what we have going on here, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified every time we put up a new video. We put up a new video every Monday, so I will see y'all here next Monday. And like always, y'all, if you're gonna go to a buffet, make sure you don't walk out of there with your stomach just like getting ready to burst. If you're walking out of a buffet and you feel like vomiting, I think either you have food poisoning, or if you're like me, you ate way too much, way too many shrimp, way too much crab, way too much rice. And if you notice I'm telling you this list is because I've done it. So again, if you're gonna go to a buffet, be sensible with what you eat. Don't overdo it because there's no need to. Just eat enough to be full, not enough to feed a family in Africa. I'm Big B, this is the Everyday Fat Ass. I will see y'all next week. Peace. Fat for now, fit forever.